Hey everybody, this is Darkside Elite coming back for another little video. I'll get to my Arrow Season 3 wrap up in a little bit. I'll have that video out as soon as I can. I wanted to talk a little bit about the DCU and also Brightburn because I saw Brightburn. Brightburn's not that bad of a movie. It was a very, very dark take on Superman. Uh, in my personal opinion, it was more of a psychological take on Superman, saying if he was truly alone, like his mom and his dad were just average parents. They were taking care of their own situations and they were giving him the love and the support that he needed. But his powers started to come in a little bit more later than sooner. And having those situations happening all at once, it just really collapsed that family dynamic that they were building throughout the whole movie. Um, and that's what sent him down his spiraling path. By having, if it was doing it the former, where his powers are coming in over the course of his growing up, I think that the family unit that they had would have been a lot stronger because they would have been able to know how he what he's truly capable of, and able to deal with it in a much better way. Um, I think the movie was done very well. I actually liked it. I don't want to see a sequel. I think that them just doing that as an origin story was is very cool. Um, I think that this in a way is a good way of them doing darker stories on these superheroes, just to give people an understanding that if you want a dark story, here's a dark story, and Brightburn is that way of doing it. um, I was thinking for a while now, why would someone like James Gunn or this director or Sony wanted to touch this, because of them knowing what Zack Snyder did with Man of Steel and the whole situation going on with Henry Cavill and Superman in the DC property. But I'm starting to see that they wanted to give fans something that they didn't truly understand. You have a lot of people talking that Brightburn um, makes Man of Steel look like a Boy Scout, and I was like, yeah, that's the whole purpose. And I think that a lot of people are misconstruing and misinterpreting the intention of what they were trying to do. In my personal opinion, I don't know what they were. I haven't read any interviews yet. The movie hasn't come out. I haven't heard many of the reviews about it, but it's not doing very well. It's doing average on Rotten Tomatoes, but I don't give a crap about Rotten Tomatoes. I do think that the movie is good. It's very good. I think that the dynamic of what they were trying to talk about, what they were trying to talk about with his powers and what his powers were doing to the family, and how the mother was trying to be a mom. And what I liked is that they really set in motion Elizabeth Banks' character as she loves him. She loves that boy to death, and she's always wanted a child, and that was the one thing that we didn't truly that a lot of people don't understand about Martha Kent. And they did this in the comics too, saying that in one point the Kents are going to get a divorce. Jonathan and Martha were on a strained marriage in one iteration, and I actually like to hear that because the Saw of the Earth Mom Pa Kent, that's been done to death. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that something a little bit different is really good, especially if it's done in a way that makes sense and also doesn't really uh, completely change the characters. Because having Mom and Pa Kent being the grounded characters for Kal-El or Clark or Superman to be to understand humanity is actually one of the best reasonings to give them a much more grounded, much more realistic. Having them as salt of the earth Christian Bible to people, yeah, but not many people can relate to that because not everyone is a Christian. Not everyone is devout in their religion as Jonathan and Martha Kent are. And what I would like to see is Jonathan and Martha. They get married. They have a really good relationship, but Jonathan and Martha are just not able to have children. And it's Jonathan has a Jonathan is not there's nothing wrong with Jonathan. There's nothing wrong with Martha. They can literally see doctor wise there's nothing wrong with them. It's just they just can't have children. And it just puts a massive strain on their relationship. It puts a massive strain on their marriage because for Jonathan, he's the last of the Kents. He is the last Kent. And Martha really wants to have his children. She wants to have a family. She wants to have a big family. She wants to have 15 grandchildren. That was her plan. She wants to have a gigantic family, and out of nowhere, and you can have it that they have such a strained marriage that they're about to talk about a divorce. Jonathan doesn't want it, but Martha's talking about it. She kind of alludes to it. She's Her and Jonathan are not having, their extramarital, they're having not their marital affairs. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing as much as they're supposed to be, because Jonathan is taking care of the farm, keeping the farm afloat, and Martha's, being the stay-at-home mom, and now she wants to go out and go do some other things, and it just puts such a strain on the Kent farm that it almost talks about them getting divorced. And then out of nowhere, a baby shows up. It's an alien baby, but it's a baby, and that baby puts it. It actually fixes their marriage. It fixes the marriage, and they realize, and then all of a sudden the child has powers, and then Jonathan he's being that strong father figure for the kid to know that, hey, there are consequences, this and this and this, and that's what makes the development of Superman. And I would like to see that too. That would be a really great little thing to have. You could do the same thing for Lara and Jor-El, that all of Jor-El's preachings about the destruction of Krypton, or there's things going on in space, this and this and this, all of his outlandish theories. It puts a strain on their marriage. That would actually be interesting. Those little interesting takes between characters is what's cool, and that's what I felt about Brightburn. I think that what they did in Brightburn was actually not bad for the characters. They did a really good job talking about how does this character, his name is Brandon Breyer, which is a good play on words with Clark Kent, and Peter Parker, stuff like that. And I think that they did a really good job showing that this kid, he's he's getting picked on at school. He looks like a nerd. He's actually a geek, stuff like that, and he's not commingling with the kids because he feels different. And we didn't get very much of that, but we do see that him getting picked on, and all of a sudden, things happen, and now he's lashing out, and he is producing psychopathic tendencies until his powers come into full circle, and then that's when everything goes completely to pot. And I think they did a really good job with it. Um, my take on James Gunn being a part of this, I don't care. I'm willing to let it go because the guy really wants to make movies, and I think that we should give him another opportunity, give him a second chance. I think that we should just let it go. I have a huge feeling that he's starting to realize, get the heck off Twitter. It's not helping the situation, and it doesn't, and it's becoming more and more toxic. Twitter is now becoming more and more toxic than I've realized, and I've really limited myself from going on there and talking very much. I hear about what's going on with the Snyder Cut. I listen to what John Aaron Garza and the whole Real Anarchy, and even what Chris Wong talk about, and some of the little newses and tidbits. But I try not to really commingle on there that much anymore because it is becoming very, very toxic. You're getting the strangest of all fans, and you're getting people that are fighting for fighting's sake, and they're just complaining for complaining's sake, and it just doesn't. To me, guess what? I got outside. I mean, I can go do something outside. Hey, I got video games. I got other things to do with my life than argue with other people on Twitter, because it's not worth it anymore. But I personally believe that it's a I'm not gonna say it's a really good movie. It's actually a good movie, and it does deserve at least some review and look at, and also some judgment, because you can't put this movie in the same concept as Man of Steel. Um, I I think that the people need to give this movie a chance, and if you're willing to give this movie a chance, you should give Man of Steel a chance, because Man of Steel is a lot more lighthearted than this movie is, and that's what I feel that the intent was. It was to tell people, if you want a dark Superman, here's a dark Superman. Here's a dark Superman that basically kills without no hesitation, doesn't give two s's, and blatantly kills all these people in this movie. Whoopie doo. And the ending kind of boggles your mind, and it's just like, wow, that's what they did. And and I hope they don't do a sequel. I hope they do something different. Like, hey, give us a darker Batman. Give us basically a Punisher like Batman, a Bruce that basically watches mom and dad get shot, and instead of going around and becoming this predator in the night to take down criminals, he basically becomes the Punisher. He goes in the military. He gets all this military training. He goes to Britain. He goes to Japan. He goes all over the world to get all this military training, this mercenary training. Comes back to Gotham and says, you know what? I'm done. And he wipes out his family's accounts and his family's fortune and goes on a murderous kill spree to kill every single criminal in Gotham. Why not? That'll be an interesting take. And it shuts a lot of people up about, oh, I don't like how Ben Affleck was killing blatantly in the movie. Well, Harry, here's a dark Batman that's putting bullets in people's faces and smiling about it. There's your Punisher Batman. So if you're willing, if you if and I think that a lot of, if there's directors out there that are willing to do that just to get people to shut up about letting directors do their own takes, go for it. Hey, I'm always willing to give a director. I can complain, but hey, I'll give the director a shot. Give me a shot, entertain me, but don't put no agendas in movies, and you're gonna get my money. That's how I feel about it. Don't give me some stupid agenda in a movie, and I'll be behind the movie 100%. I don't like the casting they did in Birds of Prey, but I'm willing to give the movie an opportunity. Give me an opportunity. Don't make it all about female power and all this and that, and I'll be all over it. That I don't want that. I don't need that. Just give me a good story with good characters. You don't need them to be woman power for them to be empowered. That is the stupidest thing. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. You don't need to have women telling you I'm empowered to feel empowered. That's stupid. So that's my little video. I want this to make this relatively short. I hope to hear you guys again. Thank you very much. Goodbye.